From one GOAT to another, ladies and gentlemen, a man that has flipped sports on its head by not only promoting a sport to the top of the sports genre conversation, but also being a hilarious human while doing it all. Has never changed, even as he's become, I think he's a billionaire.
Mega billionaire.
A super duper billionaire.
Yeah, super mega, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, President of UFC, Dana White.
Hey, Dana.
What's up, dude?
Look who's talking.
Whoa, hey, we're not talking about me. We're talking about you right now.
But I always flip it on you when I come on the show.
Yeah, classic. I appreciate that. Game, respect, game. Massive respect to you. Thank you for joining us. Massive news yesterday coming out of your particular company. USADA and UFC will end their partnership after the 2023 year. Now, I did not know much about this, but in the NFL, I think we have like Clear Sport or Clean Sport is the company that does all the drug testing for the NFL. There are other companies that do this aside from USADA. Is that where you're about to explore next? And what led to this decision for you guys to kind of separate? Because the internet went bananas to this announcement, but it doesn't feel like this is that big of a deal to me, knowing that there's other drug testing companies.
Well, let me just start with this. It wasn't an announcement. It was a dirty move by them.
Okay.
Yeah. There was no announcement yesterday. That was straight up scumbagism, what happened yesterday. Okay.
USADA. All right. Good.
Yeah. So that will all be addressed today. Not by me. I'll let Nowitzki and our lawyer, Hunter Campbell, handle that. But yeah.
Not happy about it.
The you-know-what is about to hit the fan on that one.
Okay, so the shit is about to hit the fan over there. But since we all know it now.
I thought we were on ESPN. What's going on here?
So no F.
You can do whatever you want, huh?
Not anything.
You have gotten so big and have made so much money, you can do whatever you want.
Not whatever.
Is unbelievable.
Not whatever. You can say shit, damn, ass.
Yeah.
Okay, but that F Dana, can't do it. Can't have it.
I said I was on ESPN like 10 years ago and said ass, and they threatened to never have me back on the network ever again.
Yeah, but now you've helped.
Yeah, now you're here. Now you're here, and anybody can do whatever they want when they're on your show. This is amazing.
Okay, so with that being said, we're lucky that you're here. You have helped us get to this point, so we appreciate that. But now that I guess not the announcement, I'm sorry, them deciding to paint a narrative in a fashion that I assume they wanted the world to know before you had a chance to make your own statement or announce equally that you were going to separate and no longer do business together. What, from your standpoint, is the decision as easy as we want to go with another piss testing company? We want to go with different rules. We want to do it in-house because I think Joe Rogan has been very public about like UFC should handle this type of thing. If you can get commissioned from the gaming commission to do it yourself, that feels like that makes a lot more sense than paying an independent company, or what are we thinking next?
We would still pay an independent company. It's the best way to do it. We have a standard that we've set here, but a lot of people are not happy with USADA. Our deal is up at the end of the year, and we're working on going in another direction. And then especially after the dirty scumbag move that they pulled yesterday, yes, we will,
Okay.
Like I said, that will be addressed later. The guys that, I don't deal with any of that. You know what I mean? When Jeff Nowitzki came here, he was the most respected guy in drug testing ever. When he started here, that was the greatest day of my life because it took me out of all this, shit.
Oh!
Whoa!
Kick this guy off. Connor has a question for you, Dana.
Yeah, Dana, speaking of the shit, obviously your main event next week had a little bit of a change up with Alexander Volkanovski kind of filling in Abu Dhabi. Yeah. How does that process kind of start? And is Volkanovski just the baddest mother, in the world? Or what's the deal here? Because it seems like he is always ready to fight.
Everybody that is involved in the main and co-main event in Abu Dhabi are absolute studs. I mean, for Islam, to be training for one guy, then takes Volkanovski to come in late notice and take on Islam again. Then you've got Kamaru Usman to jump in and take on Khamzat Chimaev to accept taking Kamaru Usman. I mean, these type of athletes, these type of the mentality that these guys have is what makes this sport so great and why fans are going crazy and why we broke the internet yesterday with all those announcements.
Yeah, huge news, especially because it's all big name fighters. Business-wise, this already been settled. They just have fights on their contract, so it's just like, hey, do you want this one? And then it's as easy as yes or no, and then we make it happen, because it seems to come together pretty quick for you here.
When you get offered these types of opportunities, when you get this is an opportunity for every one of these guys. This is the type of stuff that makes you great. That is legendary stuff that, to make these matchups again. Islam and Volkanovski, the first fight was incredible. Fans were divided on who won the fight. Everybody wanted to see the rematch. Everybody was asking when it could possibly happen again. And he comes in as a late replacement to do probably the most anticipated rematch ever. Is unbelievable. And Khamzat Chimaev is one of the biggest stars in the sport, undefeated, absolute savage. He's going to take on the greatest welterweight of all time. They're both welterweights, and they're both moving up, to middleweight. And basically right now, Kamaru Usman is ranked number 1, and Khamzat Chimaev is ranked number 4 in the welterweight division. They're both going to fight at middleweight now.
Hey, let's go, Dana. That's a big-time card.
Give me the quote. Give me the quote on I got to read this quote to you guys from Islam Makhachev. And this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about right here. Let me give me a second here so I can pull this up.
I feel like this is going to be a dog quote.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the quote that's coming, we're going to say, oh, that's a bad mother dogger.
Yeah, there it is.
That's what we're going to say.
So think about this. You get the call to take this fight short notice. You take on Volk, and he says, what does this title represent? It means you're the best in the world. And if you're the best in the world, it doesn't matter who is going to be standing across from you. What do I say? No, never. Let's do this.
Let's go!
Weapon.
Hey, you gotta love it. You gotta love that. That's one of your champions. Feels like you got the right guys.
I love it. I love it. I mean, every one of these 4 guys in the main and co-main event. It's obviously a big moment for us, and just a proud moment for me, and to have these types of savages, fighting in Abu Dhabi. I love it, man.
Go ahead, AJ.
Dana, a big conversation going on right now is these NFL teams are traveling, across the pond to play in these games, and they're saying, when should they go? Should you go a week early, a couple of days early? Or with your fighters going to long places like Abu Dhabi, the people that have those super long flights, do they have any kind of idea, or any kind of where they decide to go, hey, I'm going 2 weeks early, I'm going a week early, 3 days, or is it all over the place?
Yeah, no, it depends on where you're going. Some of these time zones really screw you up. London is one of them. When you go to England, it screws you up. Australia, and obviously Abu Dhabi too. And a lot of these guys go there 2 weeks early to acclimate to the time, and lots of other variables when you're playing professional sports.
Yeah, so whenever you go to a place like Abu Dhabi, and obviously Yas Island, Fight Island, we learned a lot about after the COVID, you're able to make these deals. I assume with the way these countries have been hospitable to you guys, however long guys want to go, hotels are for them, what is the setup over in Abu Dhabi? And has it only grown and gotten better since the beginning of this relationship? I would assume that's the case.
Let me tell you what, guys. When you're putting on an event over in Abu Dhabi, whether it's during COVID or not during COVID, it's one of the greatest experiences you could ever have. I mean, the infrastructure there, from hotels to restaurants to shopping, to gyms now. I mean, my old partner, Lorenzo Fertitta, told me he just got back from Abu Dhabi. He told me they have this gym that they built in the mall. So it's the greatest gym he's ever seen in his life. And just everything over there is over the top. Unbelievable. If you've never been to Abu Dhabi, you've never experienced a sporting event over there, especially like the UFC, you should absolutely do it.
Yeah, they've been seemingly going all in over there on sports, but you finding a place on earth that would host fights coming out of COVID shall never be forgotten.
Nope.
Because that first interview, I think it was on ESPN.
I believe so.
I found a place for us to be able to fight, but broadcast partners say no. So we will eagerly await that day. And then a month later, Fight Island.
Yeah.
I found it on the it was an American, real, just the amount of grit because you had to stare down a lot of corpo.
A lot of people.
That wanted to Hey, so proud of you, buddy.
Let's go,
proud
Dana.
of you, Dana.
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you, boys.
Bruce has a question for you, pal.
Yeah, Dana, obviously you have two electric new champions in Sugar Sean O'Malley and Sean Strickland. I believe it's been reported that the winner of Kamaru and Hamzat will take on Sean Strickland. Is that true? And is there a super card brewing here with Sugar Sean Strickland first defenses on the same card, maybe with McGregor in December?
Yes, that is an absolute fact. The fact that these guys are taking this fight short notice, they will get the next shot at the title, barring injuries and other things that could possibly happen. But who knows? Every year I say to myself, this year was incredible. How do we beat this year next year? Yet shit just keeps falling in line and keeps happening. It's amazing, man. It's the fun thing about the sport. One of the things that I've learned in being in this sport is reality is better than any script you could ever write.
Okay, so let's talk about the reality of the situation. Conor and Chandler supposed to fight, everybody on earth. That super card being built and being talked about would be absurd. And if you did, Super Bowl weekend is in Vegas.
Yep.
It could be a huge thing. I don't know how you do pay-per-view points for all the chomps, especially with Conor involved. You would have to deal with that. But Conor McGregor returning to an octagon, we all assume is going to happen, right? We all believe that?
Yeah, well, if you look at this year, the fallout from this year, the Abu Dhabi card that's coming up, we go to Madison Square Garden with John Jones faces Stipe Miocic. As we go into next year, we have the Super Bowl coming up. We have UFC 300 coming up. And list goes. And, I don't know if you guys know, and I know you asked me about Conor. And yes, Conor, too, coming back into the mix. Hopefully next year, we'll see how that thing plays out. And finally,
okay, let's go, baby! Notorious.
Right?
Yep.
And over the last few weeks, I have become obsessed with the Sphere. The Sphere here in Las Vegas. I went and saw the U2 concert, and I'm blown away by this venue. I want to do Mexican Independence Day next September. I actually have my entire production staff and team going to the U2 concert this weekend to walk the place, do it. I want to be the one to do the first live transmission out of the Sphere. I'm telling you right now, this place is incredible. I will put on the greatest live combat sports event anybody has ever seen.
Okay, are we putting the fight on the Sphere? Is that getting projected out to the world? What are you envisioning?
Well, that's the thing. The thing that I love about doing it next September for Mexican Independence Day is that it gives us enough time to figure out how we could pull this thing off and how we could do it better than it's ever been done. I'm literally obsessed with this. I'm torturing the guys over at MSG right now. I keep blowing these guys up, and I'm telling you guys, if there's ever a fight that you ever went to, that's the one you want to come to. I'm going to put on the greatest combat sporting event anybody's ever seen.
Hey, call your shot. Can't wait to see you make it come to fruition. That seems to be what you only do. We appreciate you for joining us, and thanks for just swearing all over our broadcast. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, guys, and thanks for breaking all the rules. You're the man.
Hey, you too. UFC 294 next weekend live in Abu Dhabi. 4 best fighters on earth battling each other on short notice. What a story. Ladies and gentlemen, Dana White. Thank you, buddy.
Dana.